Hi, everyone, and thank you for coming to view my professional portfolio. I'd like to begin by just showing you around a little bit, and then I'll explain throughout why I made some of these choices that I did for my professional portfolio. So it begins right here. You can see I have an image of myself so that potential employers or anyone reviewing my portfolio is able to see me and get a face to go along with all of these things I'm about to share. I have my name really big so that that's clear. And then I go in to share my goal for the professional portfolio. So my goal overall in this portfolio is to show what I've learned and experienced and how that relates to my strengths as an educator. You can see here I welcome them to my portfolio, and then I say how they can kind of achieve that goal that I had. And I wanted to explain that where they get to the kind of meat of all of this is up here in these tabs. So we can get started looking at those tabs. So I begin with my bio as my next tab to go to. And when I click on this, it brings me to kind of my story of how I've gotten to where I am today. It talks about how I've always been really enjoying education, always been a passion of mine since I was a young child, young student, and then how that's brought me to my education now and my career going forward. Then I can go to my philosophy. My philosophy is written right here, as you can see. I tried to use some kind of keywords here about engaging learning environment, having inclusive practices, and things like that, social emotional well-being, those kinds of things that are really important to my philosophy. And here I included a quote, as you can read, by Malala Yousafzai that I thought really went along with my philosophy and complemented it well. Next, we can go to my strengths. So, right here, you can see some of my professional competencies, and these align with those of the Master of Education program at Northeastern University. And so, if I scroll down, you can see I have systems thinking, oral, written, and visual communication, creative problem solving, culturally responsive, anticipating and meeting diverse needs. And each of these are accompanied by a photo and a link to click to learn more. There's two places where a viewer could get to more information about these. They can either go down here where it says click to learn more, or up at the top under strengths, they can click on any of these. We'll click on systems thinking at first, and then I describe what I mean by systems thinking. By systems thinking, I mean I'm able to do all of these different things. Then I decided to include some artifacts from my graduate work. And so here you can see I included a cultural deficit thinking workshop that I designed and a nonfiction unit plan that both tie into my strength here at systems thinking. And I think that this was actually one of the more difficult parts of designing this portfolio was just deciding on which artifacts to include. I decided on specific ones based on what I wanted to highlight and ones that I thought would be clear for highlighting my strengths. We can go through oral, written, and visual communication is going to be very similar. I also include one artifact there that I thought was important. Creative problem solving, I have two there. These ones are presentations based on projects I've made. This culturally responsive, what I'm able to do, and then two more artifacts that I decided were really good at showing that, anticipating and meeting diverse needs. Then you can see I go through my experience. This would be similar to something that would be on my resume, as well as my education, my certifications, and then finally, where I can be contacted. Overall, I could see my strengths